I think most people would agree that OSU's run game isn't where you want it to be at this point in the season. However, there's no doubt that they still have the threat of the running game. On this 4th and 1, these two linebackers are responsible for that middle zone as shown. Watch them on this play. They rush up to the line when they see the play action, and immediately you can see Chris Olave slip behind them for what is really an easy first down. This is the power play action. That play action motion, whether the Buckeyes have been incredibly effective running the ball or not, has been incredible for keeping things open for Justin Fields and the passing game. The Buckeyes offense has been so much more diverse this season than we've seen in previous years. Under Urban Meyer, they never went under center. Last year, they dabbled with it a little bit, but really continued to use shotgun as their primary offense. This year, and particularly against Penn State, they were often lining up under center and using different formations. Here, they line up under center with two tight ends in an unbalanced line. When was the last time you saw the Buckeyes run an unbalanced line consistently? Interestingly enough, they use formations like this to pass more than they did to run. Look at all this heavy action, and really it's all used as window dressing to see if Garrett Wilson can get a favorable matchup, which he does, and the Buckeyes are able to earn a huge completion because of that. Another thing the Buckeyes do is put stress on your defense with unusual formations out of pretty standard personnel. On this play, the Buckeyes run 11 personnel, which is one tight end, one running back, pretty normal formation grouping, and something they use a lot in pistol and under center to run the ball. But on this play, they decide to go 5 wide and put the Penn State linebackers in space. To make things even more difficult, they put Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson to the same side of the field. Now, the defense is terrified to get a linebacker or a safety matched up one-on-one with Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. Heck, they don't even want a corner matched up one-on-one. So when they're grouped like this in this formation, it's incredibly stressful for the defense. So what the Buckeyes do is use this to their advantage. Look at all the defenders focusing in on Olave and Wilson, and then you can just slip your tight end out to the middle of the field, have him run a little curl route, and he's wide open. Here they are in the exact same formation group, but now the Buckeyes are in a much heavier pistol formation. They motion over 2 players on this play to the same side, first Wilson, then they bring over the tight end. Penn State barely adjusts, they just have this slight shift down from the safety, but they really don't adjust accordingly. Because of that, the Buckeyes have the numbers in the running game, and Trey Sermon is able to chunk off a huge 15-yard gainer without breaking anything more than a few arm tackles. And finally, just when you start to think you have things figured out, the Buckeyes use tempo to further confuse you and to further throw you off your game. A critical 3rd and 2, and Penn State has a defensive tackle who's not even involved in the play. The Buckeyes get a first down without much of an effort from the defense because on this play, the Buckeyes are running tempo. Penn State gets confused with their formation shifts and who's supposed to be on or off the field, and it's an easy first down created simply by running your offense faster than the defense is prepared for. Moving on to the defense, if you want to know how the Buckeyes had success against Penn State in this contest, you really don't have to look much farther than the defensive line. We know Togiai put up numbers, but he was also eating up blocks while doing it. On this play, he's getting double-teamed and still hammers through it for a sack. And really, when your defensive tackle is that dominant, there's not much an offense can do. Haskell Garrett hasn't been the play finisher of Togiai so far this season, but he's been just as disruptive up the middle. No sack here, but watch him blow up the pocket with an absolutely disgusting swim move and create a sack for another defensive lineman. And what happens when your defensive tackles are this good is it creates favorable one-on-one matchups for the rest of your defensive line. On this play, Penn State attempts to double down on the Buckeyes defensive tackles, and it creates a one-on-one matchup with Jonathan Cooper matched up against the tight end. As you can see here, that's just not going to happen. This tight end is overwhelmed by Cooper, who straight bull rushes him into the quarterback. I've been critical of Tough Borland at times, but overall he had a great game against Penn State. On this critical 4th down early in the game, he sniffs out the screen, blows up the play, and really causes Clifford to bail out of the pocket in a sense of desperation. This all happens because Borland's able to read the play, eat up the blocker, and free up Browning. So this was a great job by Tough Borland recognizing the play and blowing it up in the backfield. But while the linebackers did play well against Penn State, there still are concerns, particularly about Tough Borland against better competition. Watch this play action where the linebackers both fall for it, attack the middle of the field, and leave an opening. Now, Kirk compliments him on this play about how they're able to get back, But really, if you watch it closely, this ball should have been out of his hands for a big gain. Sean Clifford misses this throw, and I'll tell you what, guys like Trevor Lawrence, guys like Mac Jones, they're not missing a throw like this. Maybe this is just knowing your personnel. The Buckeyes were set on stopping the run before anything else because they know Clifford's limitations as a passer. However, whenever you have a guy streaking across the middle wide open, it's typically not a good thing, and the Buckeyes are going to have to tighten stuff up like this when they do face elite competition later in the playoffs this season.